In this video, we're going to be talking about the 7 reasons why I think you should start your own business. Now, I'm not saying you should walk into your boss's office and quit today, but these 7 reasons were the driving force behind my decision to quit my well-paid job at the age of 34 and start my own business. The only thing that's changed between then and now is the order of importance that I've put the items in the list. That's changed. Making money, getting rich, that was my number 1 when I was 34. And it's not now. Stick around to see, with hindsight, where I think you should put wealth creation on your own list of motivations. YouTube is all about speed these days, right? Oh my God, I'm getting dizzy. Lose weight in a week, start a business in a weekend. It's not all about fast results, is it? The good things in life sometimes take time, don't they? You can't just rush into these things. And that's great, I get it. People are frustrated. People are impatient. But what I'm talking about is such a huge life decision, something you'll remember forever, the day you started your own business and took control of your life. I've made a video here about my own story and I can remember it all in vivid detail. So take a breath, give yourself time to absorb and learn what you need to do. Don't get frustrated and give up too soon like most people. And let me share my 7 reasons, my 7 driving motivations why you should start dreaming of starting your own business. And hopefully these 7 reasons give you a glimpse into what it could be like as your own boss, as the owner of a business, as an entrepreneur. And as the owner of a business, you too could spend your Friday afternoons going for a walk in the woods, amongst the graveyards and the dead bodies, reminding you perhaps of life's fragility. Do you really have time to waste? The clock is ticking. One day, all far too soon, we're all going to be in the ground here, aren't we? The most important benefit is freedom. You get to choose how hard you work, how often you work. You get to pick your schedule, you get to pick your meetings. You get to choose. Now, you may choose to work longer and harder than you did as an employee, but it's your choice. You have the freedom to choose. You may choose to prioritize other things like family or hobbies or fitness, but it's up to you. If you want to take Fridays off to play golf with some mates, you can. If you want to take 2 hours for lunch so you can go to the gym, get healthy, stay healthy, you can. It's up to you. You choose to leave early to pick up the kids and then work late in the evening. It's up to you. You make the decisions. It's your business after all. This freedom is literally liberating, and it doesn't have to be earned. You get this on day 1. You've decided by setting up on your own that freedom is a priority for you. When I was working as an employee in a private equity firm, we were coming to the end of a 7-month-long project. And as is often the case at the end of a long project, the deadlines kept getting missed, the stress levels were getting high. We were literally working night and day to get the deal over the line. It got to Friday night and all that remained was to finalise the documents and get my boss to sign them. We were all sat in a lawyer's office in central London and the waiting began. We had approximately 100 documents to finalise and sign, and I kept finding small areas that needed correcting. The clock ticked on. Hours came and went. At midnight, my boss had had enough, finally went home. Not me though, I was there until 4 a.m. continuing to review and check the final documents. Still, they weren't ready. So I went home, I grabbed 2 hours sleep, showered and headed straight back into the office. The lawyers were all still there. If you need a reason not to become a lawyer, there's one right there. Now, I desperately hoped everything would be ready to sign, not only because I was knackered, but also it happened to be my brother-in-law's wedding that day. And if I wanted any chance of staying married myself, I had to be there. My boss arrived at 11 a.m. and we still weren't ready to sign. At midday, I told my boss that I had to leave, as I had a wedding to get to. He told me in front of the whole team that if I left there and then, I was fired, and not to bother coming back. But it's my brother-in-law's wedding, I said. It's not like some distant cousin who I don't know. He just glared at me. So I had a choice to make, my marriage or my career. I'd worked about 120 hours that week, and honestly, I couldn't believe that those hours worked seemed to count for nothing. I was 29 years old. I turned around and walked out and went to my wedding. So was I fired? Well, no, I came back later that afternoon and finalised all the documentation and we signed the deal. And that deal went on to make about £300 million profit for the firm I worked for, a big chunk of which went straight to my boss, the boss who had fired me. That was the day I decided to leave.
Second on my list is passion, a pursuit of passion. Hopefully, if you start your own business, then it's something that you love to do and you get to do work, which is also your passion. And if you can get those two together, then you are much more likely to be successful. Work seems less like work. Time moves differently when you are working on your passion. Long days don't seem so long. Hard work is less hard. But my guess is, if work is your passion, you're more likely to work harder to make it successful. Now look, passion is an overused word, especially here on YouTube. I put it second on my list because getting a new business off the ground is really hard work. And if passion is the thing that you need to give you a kick, to get you that start, then you should grab hold of it. And passion makes the whole thing easier. But look, if you're sat there thinking, that's great, I'm not really passionate about anything, frankly, especially work, don't worry. You don't need to be passionate to start a business. You need to be good at something. What are you really good at? And I mean really, really good at. Everyone is good at something. Everyone has that skill which someone in the office goes to you and says, I really need your help on this. That is your thing. Okay, so you've now got control. You've got control over your time, control over your day-to-day schedule, control over decision-making, control over your future. You are also, for better or for worse, in control of your financial destiny. Yes, you lose the benefit of the certainty of a monthly income, but you gain the benefit of an almost unlimited monthly upside if you get it right. And you no longer have to spend your time working on a project that sucks, that has no chance of success, just because your boss told you to. God, I used to hate that. So money is fourth on my list, and I've deliberately put it fourth, even though it was the main reason I started my own business. See, money may be the kicker to get you off your arse and actually start taking action, but having done this a few times now, it's not the main reason to do this. And it's not the most important reason. Freedom, control, passion, they're the things that should really drive you. But clearly, if you can make your new business work, then money is a big upside. You see, as the owner of the business, all of the shares are yours, and so all of the value you create goes to you. You've broken the link between hours worked and value created. And if anything represents the huge difference between being an employee and being an owner, I think this is it. So let me give you an example. One of the businesses that I've started was a craft beer retailer, and I owned 100% of it. On day one, it was worth nothing. After a year and a lot of hard work, it had started to become a viable business. We had some loyal customers, we were selling regularly, and I was able to start drawing a small salary. Great. Nothing spectacular, but enough to pay the bills and feed my family. I had to work many, many more hours to get this business off the ground than I did in my previous job, and I was paid a hell of a lot less, so hourly pay was significantly lower. But I loved the job. I loved beer. I loved the whole industry. I loved the artisan brewers that you got to meet. I loved the craft involved in creating these products. And I liked the customers. I also got to start work at midday every day and have free beer pretty much whenever I wanted it. So a couple more years of this and more hard work, the business was humming along. Brilliant. I can now pay myself a more reasonable salary and employ some staff and start to work a little bit less. Not only that, but I still own 100% of the business. So when a local businessman comes along and offers me a price for the business, of course, I say yes. So I've worked extremely hard for 3 years. I've earned the salary, of course, but also this one-off payday. And that could never happen as an employee. And I've made a whole video on this, which you can see here, where I go into the benefits of being an owner versus an employee. And I think it's so important.
Number 5 is culture. You get to design the business however you want. You get to design a company culture that reflects your personal values and priorities. So when I started my private equity business with 2 old friends, we all had young families, and so family values was a priority. If we had to go home early to pick up the kids or look after the children, then that's what we did, and that's what we all did, and that was important to us, just as important as making the business a success. I Okay, so number 6 is personal growth. And when it's your business and you overcome the many challenges that you will face, it's hugely rewarding. There are ups and downs in starting your own business, maybe even more downs than ups. But even though at the time those downs, those negatives, those really low points were awful, I find myself looking back with fondness. So I think the opportunity to overcome those challenges and experience personal growth is hugely rewarding and one of the more important aspects of starting out on your own.
Now, number 7 on the list is job satisfaction. So what you do, the decisions you make every single day make a difference. What you do matters. And if you believe in yourself and your skills, that will be great because you'll drive value into your business. Now, I don't know about you, but what I found as an employee is that you spend a lot of time doing stuff where you just thought, this is a complete waste of time. And you only did it because your boss thought it was good and he was doing it to impress his boss and so on up the chain. But it just didn't matter. And you knew it. And that is soul destroying. As an employee, you can often find yourself in meetings where just decisions and talk goes round and round and you just think, what am I doing here? This just makes no difference to the business or my life. No one even asks your opinion. When it's your business, what you do matters. You can have an impact, and that is huge, both for the business and for your self-esteem and your mental health, and just the day-to-day job satisfaction of getting up and doing something worthwhile.
Now look, I realise that starting up on your own is a daunting prospect and not for everyone, but it's affected my life in such a profound way that I had to share the 7 reasons why I think you should start your own business. But if you want to hear more about my struggle to start a business and hear whether I was successful or not, then I think you'll really like this video, which dives deep into the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.